Bene, vi invito a prendere posto e armarvi nuovamente di cuffiette.
I like only to tell my experience, yeah?
Yes, of course. It's most important. Faccio solo una precisazione rispetto ad Anne e ad allineamento divino, nel senso che non eravamo allineati, a volte succede. Domani non è possibile ricevere sessioni di allineamento divino da parte di Anne proprio perché ci sarà la seconda giornata del Congresso. Chi desidera ricevere direttamente da lei e quindi non è ancora stato allineato potrà ricevere a Roma nelle prime giornate di gennaio oppure il 9-10 marzo a Limbiate in provincia di Monza. Per qualunque altro tipo di informazioni relativa ai seminari che Anne tiene in Italia e alle formazioni potete comunque contattarci al termine del seminario e quindi mandare una mail a info@allineamentodivino.it per qualunque tipo di informazione in questo senso. Ora invece apriamo una sessione altrettanto importante di guaritori spirituali. Nella fattispecie sono con me John Pachito e Joseph Calano, in rappresentanza dell'Associazione dei Guaritori Spirituali Filippini. Nelle Filippine, come immagino sapete, è culturalmente e socialmente riconosciuto ed accettato qualunque processo di guarigione spirituale, per cui loro ne sono degni rappresentanti. Cedo la parola a Joseph e poi successivamente tutte le domande che vorrete. Joseph Calano e John Pachito.
Sige, good. Okay. First of all, I would like to make a greetings to the organizer, Fabio Pia and Fabio Mariani, for this first Congress in here in Italy, Milan, Italy. And also to Anne Jubner, the main speaker of this 2 days event, Anne+Tanja from Germany. Reverend Joseph Calano, who will be our next president of the Healers in the Philippines. Brothers and sisters, good afternoon. Well, I am a healer who started at the age of 30. And before I started this, I was in the army, which I was wounded, and this is my second life, because I was wounded and there's a light blue flame that struck me and blinded me. The Holy Spirit communicated with me, and I'll better get out from the army and do some healing sessions, which is now my calling. One of the healers from Baguio dispatched me immediately to Poland, wherein I cured, or God helped me to cure this businessman who is in a wheelchair. I am a gifted psychic surgeon, magnetic healer, like most genuine psychic surgeon in the Philippines, to channel the Holy Spirit. A psychic surgeon generates blood when operating. With the help of the Holy Spirit, there are remarkable cures under my belt, most cancers, including the so-called incurable cancer of the liver, paralysis, heart problems, pancreas, kidneys, lungs, throat, emotional problems, and just about any other problems you can think of. In so much ado, I am the youngest healer of the Philippines, which brought me to the four corners of the world, like in Oceania, Africa, Europe, and India, except the United States of America and Russia. So I would like you again to say good evening, and I hope for me as a healer, my message only is I am not the one who heals thee, but it is the Father within. Thank you very much, and good evening.
Good afternoon to everyone. First, I would like to thank Fabio Pea for organizing this event and for all the people who, in one way or the other, helped in organizing this event. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank Anne Hubner. I have known her for a long time, Anne. And she's the one who introduced me to Fabio Pea. That's the reason why I am now working also here in Italy whenever they invite me to come here to do our healing work. And to each and every one of you who are here this afternoon, we are deeply honored of your presence. And we are happy that we are given the chance to present to you and inform you about the way we work as a Filipino spiritual healer. Spiritual healing is practiced, as we all know, all over the world for a long time, maybe hundreds of years before. Spiritual healing around the world has been practiced already in different countries. I think you have heard about Reiki, which is practiced in Japan, Huna healing in Hawaii. In United Kingdom, we have spiritual healers, famous spiritual healers, and also in Europe, I think. In the early ages, you had people who are gifted, who could be also healers, but then the tradition of spiritual healing was not transferred to the next generations because during the time there was a struggle, and these people, gifted people, were accused to be, sometimes there are instances where they are accused to be working with black energy, black magic, or they're accused to be witches. But probably these were the people who were gifted to do healing work. And many of them were persecuted, some burned in public places. So most of these gifted people had no chance to work with other people. They covered with fear to practice their skills and their abilities. And in the Philippines, we're lucky that spiritual healing has been part of our tradition. And people in the society accepted this way of healing. Even before the introduction of normal medicine, or what we call medical science. In each community in the Philippines, we already have healers. Healers, this is where people go whenever they are ill or whenever they are sick. In the Philippines, we actually have two kinds of healers. We have the spiritual healers and what we call the physical healers. We have healers there who have special abilities and knowledge in using the different available plants, herbs, in preparing them to be used as medicine for different applications or for different illnesses. And we have special healers who can work with the muscles and bones, who can set bones. They are categorized as physical healers. Under the spiritual healers category, we have healers who can channel energy to their patients. We call them the magnetic healers. And we have healers whom we call psychic surgeons, or people who can do operation by bare hands. Psychic surgery is something I will explain to you later, how we are able to do psychic surgery or operation by bare hands. But when we talk about spiritual things, this is one of the most difficult subject to talk about, because when we speak about spirituality, it is normally, the normal reaction of people would be disbelief or skepticism. Because people normally live in the consciousness, normal consciousness, the physical consciousness, but it is therefore on the burden. The burden is therefore on the part carried by the spiritual healers like us, on how we could explain to them or to the people that each and every one of us has a physical body, and we have spirits as well as we have all souls. And that's why through spiritual healing, we're able to help people who are sick, not only people who have physical illness, but also people who have emotional or mental illness. As a spiritual healer, we have as a spiritual healer, we categorize the different forms of spiritual healing. Generally, categorize the forms of spiritual healing in three general categories. Okay, so we base the categorize spiritual healing in three different categories. First category of spiritual healing would be what we call the 50% spiritual intervention. Many spiritual healing methods are done through the 50% spiritual intervention. And what do you mean when I say 50% spiritual intervention? This way of healing, spiritual healing, is a way of healing wherein we use spiritual energy which is available. And this is half of the healing work. Half of the healing work would be done by a healer. The half work that is to be done by the healer will depend on how the healer is able to channel the energy, how to able to use the available spiritual energy. And the other category would be spiritual healing methods wherein there is a 100% spiritual intervention. But under this category, this form of healing, I think, is usually practiced by healers in Brazil. Because most of these healers in Brazil who can do psychic surgery with the use of knives are completely possessed during the healing, or they are under deep trance. They are in deep trance, so they don't know exactly what's happening. So they are completely possessed or incorporated by spiritual entities during the healing process. In Philippine spiritual healing, this form of healing, we say, is a category wherein there is an 80% spiritual intervention, because we also avail of the 50% divine energy that is available for healing, and we rely on the 30% spiritual intervention coming from our spiritual guides. So we work through a spiritual guide, and then the 20% is the work of a healer. The healer, spiritual healer, connects with the spiritual guides in order to perform his spiritual healing. And during psychic surgery, when we do operation by bare hands, we are helped by our spiritual guides. We are directed on what to do during the healing. So we are not completely in trance, but you can say we are in semi-trance during a surgery or an event like this. Psychic surgery became known all over the world during the mid-1900s, when healers from Brazil, like Arrigo, started to do psychic surgery through the use of knives. Is able to do surgeries without anesthesia, and for the patients without pain and post-operative effects. Yeah? So no pain, no infections. And in the Philippines, there was a Filipino healer who started to do psychic surgery, we call it as operation by bare hands. And his name is Eleuterio Terte. He comes from the province of Pangasinan. This is a northern province in Luzon, in the Philippine Islands, northern Philippine Islands. So, as a Philippine spiritual healer, every time we encounter or we heal patients, normally we do not do diagnosis, we do not diagnose the illnesses they have. We do not necessarily ask what problems they have, but we feel more what we call energy blockages. And we also feel that each level, when I say level, we have the body, physical level, the spiritual level, and the soul level. We have three bodies, the body, spirit, and the soul, which we can feel. And each of these levels have their own flow of energy. I think in Chinese medicine or Chinese principles, they believe on they talk about meridians. This is a flow of energy around the physical body. And this is what we feel also. The physical body has its own energy, separate and distinct from the spiritual body as well as the soul. And whenever we encounter or we heal people of different illnesses, these illnesses could be physical illness, emotional, as well as mental illness, what we can feel are energy blockages which can manifest on what you call the chakras. Yeah? The chakras are the doors of energy. And most of the chakras, the blockages manifest on any of these chakras. Or it can also happen that the blockages of energy can happen on the secondary chakras, which is located all over the body from head to toe, front and back. And the manifestation of blockages is something the healer can receive through his spiritual guide or through his own third eye. He's able to feel these blockages. And the healer is able to identify at which level these blockages manifest. And so, as a healer, our main job is to remove these blockages. The blockages can manifest in one level. These blockages can manifest on 2 levels or in all 3 levels. So we have to remove these blockages and channel healing energy so that we can say and we can feel that when we are able to do this, we can say that the healing process can start to take place on the patient. So the patient starts to get healed. And in our healing experiences, we observe that if we encounter healing, people who have normal illnesses, most of the blockages we feel in them when we do our healing manifest on the physical body. So the blockages manifest on the chakras, on the physical body. And it's normal that when we try to feel blockages, when we encounter people, or we have patients who have more serious illnesses, as well as people who have emotional problems, people who have clinical depression, people who have anxiety, unexplained fear, uncontrolled anger, and more serious physical illnesses. Most of the manifestation of the blockages we can feel are on the soul level. But it can also happen that the blockages can manifest on 2 levels, the physical as well as the spiritual level. And for the more serious illnesses, like people who have cancer, serious neurological disorders, serious emotional as well as mental, people who have serious emotional as well as mental problems, and people who are born with physical and mental disabilities or handicaps. Most of the blockages manifest on the soul level. I think many of you here would be familiar with the word karma. We feel that there are reasons for this kind of illnesses. And we say that these are illnesses which have karmic reasons. So through the spiritual healing, we're able to work on this level, this soul level. That's how we can heal people or help people who have these kind of problems. So in Philippine in spiritual healing, there are no real limits on what kind of illnesses you can heal or you cannot heal. As a spiritual healer, you only have to do your best to use your job, and the final decision will always come from God. The one application of psychic surgery is working on the soul level. We can clear blockages on the spirit and soul level through psychic surgery. Psychic surgery is a phenomena normally attributed or related to Filipino healers. They say because it's only the Filipino healers who can do this kind of surgery. But actually, there are healers around the world who can do psychic surgery, but many of them are working silent or secretly because probably in their communities or in the country where they live, it is not freely accepted, or the society do not accept this form of healing. But we're lucky in the Philippines that many people accept this form of healing. It is a phenomena. Psychic surgery is a phenomena, so it's very difficult to explain scientifically or logically how it can be possible that a Filipino healer can open the body of a patient. But the truth is, we do not open the body of the patient. Because psychic surgery is completely different from the kind of surgery being done by medical doctors. Medical doctors do surgery, they open the body, so they need anesthesia so that the patient wouldn't feel pain, and there are post-operative effects, so they give antibiotics to prevent inflammation or infections. In psychic surgery that we do, there is no real medical importance or significance. Although there is a physical manifestation of blood, sometimes blood comes out from the physical body of a person. This is not for the physical body. The blood is only a physical manifestation of energy blockages being removed, mostly on the etheric body, the spirit and the soul body. And we can do this only through the help of our spiritual guides. I cannot explain to you how it can happen, but I will just give you again, as I always say, a comparative explanation how this thing can happen. How can blood come out from the body of a person? I think you are familiar, and you all know that our body have a characteristic that when we exert physical effort, when we do physical exercises, or whenever we are in a hot place or in a warm place, water comes out from our body through the pores of our skin. So we sweat. And since blood and water are both in the same physical matter, they are both liquid. Blood can also come out from the body through the pores of the skin, but this time, because of the energy coming from the healer's hands, This is only a physical manifestation, as I have said a while ago, of energy blockages being removed from the etheric body, mostly from the etheric body. So after doing clearing the blockages, the next job, work the healer has to do, he must be able to channel healing energy to the patients so that he can help the patient get healed. Yeah. When the blockages are removed on a sick patient and he gets enough healing energy, the healing can start to take place. Working on the soul level is one of the most difficult part a spiritual healer has to do. Because we're here with spiritual subjects or spiritual things, especially if you encounter people who have illnesses with karmic reasons. I think many of you here have heard that you cannot change karma. But in my healing experience, over 40 years of healing experience, this general statement is not always true. There are certain levels of karma that you cannot change. But there are certain levels, so we categorize karma in certain levels, 1, 2, and 3. For example, if a person we encounter or we heal have the level 3 karma, we cannot help. But there are instances when we encounter people who are level 2 karma, level 1 or level 2, we could help the patient, still help the patient. Some of them we can heal completely, some their conditions can improve. Meaning there are certain stages of karma. This karma is going through a cyclic cycle. It's going to a cycle. Yeah, probably it's going up here. If you reach a certain level, you cannot help anymore the patient. But there are instances where the karma is still starting, and on the middle level, spiritual healers can still help people who have illnesses with karmic reasons, that they can help to end the karma. So they can still be healed, completely or partly. Going back to the 3 levels, we all know that the physical body needs energy in order to maintain its energy. In order to maintain its energy, we need to feed the physical body. Yeah, we have to take in food, water, food, to maintain its energy. Yeah. Since we say that we also have spirit and souls, and it has its own energy flow, we also need to feed our spirit and our soul. So we have to do something to feed our spirit and soul. And we all say that the main food, there are many ways to feed our spirit and the soul, but the main food for the spirit and our soul is praying and meditation. This gives energy to our spirit and our soul. So there are people who are thinking they have not done much for their spirit and their soul. This could later on manifest as blockages and could later on turn out to be as physical it can become physical, emotional, or mental problems in the future. So this is one way where spiritual healers can help. In the Philippines, people go to the healers not only because they are sick, but they go to the healers, spiritual healers, to receive energy on the spirit and the soul level. So they go there for preventive reasons. If they think that they have not done enough meditation and praying, in a certain period in their life, they go to healers to receive spiritual energy, to get their energy balanced, to get into a better harmony. I hope that in Italy and in other countries who get this information, they will practice the same. Going to spiritual healers as a normal thing for people to do, to feed their spirit and their soul, not only the spirit, giving attention always to the physical body. The natural tendency for people is to feed the physical body, to do all the best things for the physical body, but they neglect about the presence of the spirit and the soul. And those of you who would be going to spiritual healers, I can assure you that when you have the spiritual treatments, it will not only be a physical experience, because you're going to have treatments, physical, but more important part of a spiritual treatment is that it's going to be a spiritual experience for each and every one of you. So this is what I can share you this afternoon. We have a portion where you can ask questions. Please feel free to ask questions. Any question you can ask, and we will answer them. Isaw ka?
In bagak mo ito tayo. Yo, finish.
Bagaman di istorya mo di ko.
Prima di aprire uno spazio per le domande, volevo lasciare la parola anche a John Pachito, che ci potesse portare in qualche modo la sua personale esperienza rispetto ai processi di guarigione. Poi ovviamente apriamo uno spazio delle domande dal pubblico.
Hello again. Yes, my experience for patients, for those who wants to have healing sessions with me or with Joseph for spiritual energy, my experience is what I always tell to the patient is the doctor will cure you, but God will heal you. This is all. So sometimes in I travel abroad, most especially here in Europe, I always say this to people, because as for me, I did not learn this kind of healing. I am a gifted psychic surgeon, and that can match up with the veteran healers like Reverend Joseph Orbito or any other healers like Joseph Calano. And thank you again, my friend here, Brother Fabio, that you invited me. And I hope because we as healers want also to have healers here in Europe, that someday they are the one to heal the European men. Thank you, and this is all I can tell.
Sì, grazie, volevo sapere un po' di più per quanto riguarda la metodica che usa il guaritore filippino. Ad esempio, siamo capaci, penso, di sentire i blocchi, siamo capaci di sentire i chakra, sia a livello del corpo eterico, del corpo emozionale, del corpo spirituale, del corpo mentale, del corpo spirituale. Esistono tanti sistemi poi per risolvere questi blocchi. Uno, ad esempio, è quello di introdurre l'elemento terra, l'elemento acqua, l'elemento fuoco, l'elemento aria. Un altro è quello di usare i colori di Patrick San Francesco, ad esempio. Ci sono diversi sistemi. Volevo sapere qual era il metodo che i guaritori filippini utilizzavano.
In the Philippines, different healers have different ways of different methods of feeling the different blockages. Some healers feel blockages they feel the density in the different chakras. Some healers feel cold or warm on the different chakras which are blocked, and this is a way for them to feel and to know where the blockages are. And some healers see the blockages visually. They get visual information about the blockages and where the blockages are. This could be in colors, dark colors, black colors. So there are different ways they feel the blockages. And sometimes this also depends on the spiritual guides they have. Sometimes the spiritual guides give them such informations on where the blockages are. And there are different ways that the blockages can be cleared. This is sometimes they base their what they will do, how they will remove the blockages, depending on the messages they get from their spiritual guides, or depending on the intuition of the healer on how he will remove the blockages. Most of the blockages, although, are removed by visualization, and after removing these blockages, they release these blockages, they ground these blockages. And psychic surgery is one form of removing or clearing blockages, especially on the soul level, the spirit and the soul level, or on the etheric level. So, but there are many ways to clear blockages, different forms, different effective ways of clearing these blockages, which can manifest on the healer, or which the healer can feel.
Integrerei in parte la risposta di Joseph, nel senso che più volte oggi ho sentito parlare di metodo o di metodologia. È chiaro che affrontando un approccio che riguarda la guarigione attraverso lo spirito, questo termine è decisamente inappropriato. Come vi ha testimoniato Anne nella sua condivisione prima, il processo è: espando la mia coscienza, ricevo delle informazioni, ho un'intuizione riguardo ad un simbolo, ad un gesto, ad un blocco sul corpo, e lì vado ad agire perché in qualche modo sto ricevendo questa informazione attraverso il canale dello spirito. E la risposta di Joseph è esattamente la stessa. Mi affido ad un processo guidato per cui ricevo delle informazioni e sulla base delle informazioni che ricevo agisco. Questo non fa di questo un metodo né una metodica. È un'apertura di uno stato di coscienza all'interno del quale è possibile ricevere delle informazioni da un livello superiore, differente da quello in cui siamo abituati a stare nei momenti di razionalità.
Yeah.
Domande?
When we try to train people to learn Philippine spiritual healing, we train them to bring their consciousness from the normal consciousness we have more into the spiritual level of consciousness, or we open their awareness in the spiritual level. And probably you can say we try to open their third eye or their spiritual awareness. And when the healer's spiritual awareness is open, and the third eye is open, is able to perceive or feel spiritual energies more sensitive. He will be more sensitive to feel the spiritual energies, and he gets clearer messages on how to do his healing work. So sometimes there are no clear guidelines on how to do certain things when you do spiritual healing. Sometimes you have to depend on what message you get through your intuition or through your open third eye or through your spiritual awareness.
Era esattamente la domanda che volevo fare.
Quindi un'altra domanda.
Yeah. My spiritual guide told me that you are going to ask that question. So I answered it before you asked it.
I guess so.
Quindi le sue guide spirituali giocano d'anticipo
Thank
nel
you.
sottoporgli
Grazie.
delle tematiche prima che voi gliele proponiate verbalmente.
Sono Marina. No, io volevo avere così un maggior chiarimento su cosa intende lui per spirito a differenza dell'anima. Grazie.
There are no clear difference between spirit and soul. The word spirit and soul is used in the Bible many times. It could refer to the same thing. But for us, it's more the soul is where the emotions come from. The intelligence comes more from the spirit. The spirit is a spiritual entity that is created by God, that is coexistent with our existence here and our life on earth. But the soul is more a spiritual entity which could have a life, former lifetimes, which have past life experiences, which is what we call in Buddhism, they say reincarnated in this lifetime. And this is something we feel, which is part of our constitution, what we are made of. Each and every one of us have two immortal bodies, which is the spirit and the soul.
Si può sempre fare una guarigione a una persona che non ha dato il permesso. Cosa pensate di fare una guarigione a delle persone disabili?
Healing without asking permission normally happens when you do healing from a distance, or what we call distance healing, when the person is not physically there when you are doing the healing. Normally, it helps. Generally, it helps. It helps a lot when the person you are healing knows that you're doing healing for him, and it's also ethical that the person you are doing healing knows that you are doing healing for him or her. But in the spiritual world, normally things are different. As long as you're doing a healing or something good for a person, even a person from a distance, this is one of the things that we can do. We connect with the spirit of the soul of the soul of the patient for whom we are doing spiritual healing. And on the spiritual level, spiritual world, this is allowed, that your spiritual guide as a healer connects with the spirit of the person, and the healing energy can be channeled. But as I've said, if the person knows about this healing and he or she allows this healing, it will help very much in the healing process, or the healing could be more effective. And the other question is, what's the other question?
Disability.
Disabled, yeah. Healing disabled person. Most of the people who are disabled, or those who met serious accidents and became disabled, who are became physically, emotionally, or mentally handicapped. These are examples of what we say illnesses which have karmic reasons. So this could be the people healing people who have these problems could not be that easy, and the success of the healing will depend on what level, on how heavy the karmas they have.
Ribadisco in qualche modo un concetto che ho espresso stamattina, cioè è fondamentale la piena assunzione di responsabilità da parte di chiunque desideri ricevere un processo di guarigione spirituale, quindi nessuno si sostituisce a nessuno, ognuno consapevolmente compie le proprie scelte, e credo che questo risponda ampiamente almeno a metà di questa domanda.
Joseph parlava della chirurgia a mani nude. Volevo sapere un po' i campi d'applicazione. Effettivamente in un paziente oncologico, se viene applicata questa terapia, cosa succede? Grazie.
As I have said earlier, psychic surgery is completely different from medical surgery done by medical doctors. We do not remove cancer tissues or organs which are affected by cancer, but psychic surgery, as I have said, by psychic surgery we can remove blockages on the soul level, spirit and soul level, and when we are able to clear the blockages, even if we are not able to clear completely the blockages, or partly we can clear blockages on the soul level, and we're able to channel healing energy, we can feel that the patient's condition can still improve. Yeah? The healing can start to take place. So there are instances where cancer patients' condition improve, yeah, or we can probably stop what they say metastasis, or the cancer from getting worse. I would like also to inform you that many healers in the Philippines have no formal education. Many of the healers don't even know the anatomy of a human body. So when people say something about their illnesses, probably they don't have a clear understanding what kind of illnesses they have. But the healers can feel the blockages that manifest mostly on the soul level. So what advice they can give to the patient is only for them to work with the healing energy, to help with the healing energy, to help in the healing process. And the patient can do a big role in the healing process by opening himself or herself to the healing process, to the healing energy given by the healer, and also by doing meditation, because when the patient meditates, he or she works with the healing energy, and he or she helps to start the healing process.
Come dicevo stamattina, parte dei processi di guarigione spirituale hanno come primo fine il fatto di consentire a chi riceve di vivere una dimensione di serenità e di pace interiore. E questo in qualche modo ci tengo a risottolinearlo, perché è vero che a volte assistiamo a dei fenomeni che si manifestano nel corpo con delle guarigioni anche del corpo fisico, ma se solo pensate alla possibilità che una persona con una patologia possa serenamente accettare l'idea di vivere una vita in pace nonostante quella patologia, questa dal mio punto di vista è già una straordinaria forma di guarigione interiore. E questo faciliterà il fatto che la persona sia più serena, che abbia meno preoccupazioni, che sia meno ansiogena, e questo attiverà nel corpo fisico automaticamente un miglioramento e un processo di guarigione per quanto possibile. Poi questo non esclude che in alcuni casi le guarigioni siano veramente straordinarie e istantanee, soprattutto come avete visto con l'attivazione di allineamento, per cui pochi secondi la persona non viene toccata, il bacino si riposiziona, la spina dorsale torna perfettamente diritta. Ma questo non deve distoglierci da un'idea più intima di evoluzione, di guarigione attraverso lo spirito, che è sentirci in pace, in qualche modo un processo di accettazione rispetto a determinate situazioni e di affidamento totale alle forze dello spirito che attiveranno invece le giuste leve per attivare dei processi di guarigione su ogni livello, su ogni parte di noi. Questo soprattutto oggi, ma anche negli speech di domani, tenetelo comunque presente, perché è veramente il cuore pulsante di un processo di guarigione spirituale.
Io vorrei chiedere, secondo lei il guaritore spirituale nasce tale, magari si manifesta dopo anni questa predisposizione, o chiunque può diventare potenzialmente un guaritore spirituale?
Yes, there are lucky few who are chosen to do the healing work, and they get their ability as a gift.
You?
Yeah, I got the gift of healing at the age of 14. It was a strange incident or happening for me at that age to experience having a dream that a spiritual guide or a spiritual entity is telling to me that I will become a healer, I will be working, healing people. And at that time I just let it and forget about it. But this dream became more often, and it became very clear in my mind that in the morning when I wake up, I still remember this dream. Until such time that this dream became, I received this information even when I was awake. So it was strange, and there was this time there was a confusion and fear in me. Why I received such messages that during daytime I received these messages. So at that time I tried to heal first the members of my family, my brothers and sisters, my parents. And they say at that time I was able to help them whenever they are sick. Yeah. And then I started to work with our neighbors, started to come and know about me, a young boy doing healing in the community. And the word spread, because in the Philippines, everything is spread by mouth, you know. People like to talk to each other and spread news about this. And I started working with other healers. At the age of 19 or 20, I worked with other healers, and we do what we call healing missions. We do go to different places and we do healing missions together. This is where I got healing experiences when I worked with different healers in the different parts of the Philippines. We traveled around Philippines to do healing work. We made it we have healing schedules all over the country. And that started my healing career. And this form of healing, Philippine spiritual healing, as we have proven many times, this is a form of healing which you can learn, because we have taught a lot of Filipinos who became spiritual healers like us. We trained them, and they become spiritual healers like us. They have the same abilities like us. Many of them are also able to do psychic surgery like us. It took time, really. It takes patience, time to be able to develop one's ability to bring the consciousness from the normal level of consciousness to the spiritual level of consciousness, this is the main thing we do to train healers, Filipino healers, to become spiritual healers. But we have proven, as I have said, we have now successful Filipino healers who are able to do the same as we do. So as a gifted healer, the advantage I have is that I don't have to train like the other Filipino healers who train to become healers. I was given the gift to bring my consciousness from normal level of consciousness to the spiritual level of consciousness, and I had spiritual guides who helped me in my spiritual work. And this is one of the reasons why we do the training and in the Philippines, and why Filipino healers learn this form of healing. Because in the Philippines, we find many spiritual entities, you can say entities or angels, who are in a level where they were given a mission to help healers do their work, do healing work. There are many theories why in the Philippines there are many spiritual healers, or this is where you find spiritual healers who can do psychic surgery. And one of them is the theory that Philippines was one part of the sunken continent called Lemuria. And in Lemuria, we are given this information that the population that stayed there in Lemuria or lived in Lemuria were spiritually advanced. They have spiritual abilities, they communicate telepathically, and there were many spiritual entities who came down to Lemuria to experience living in the Lemurian world. And the theory is that many of these spiritual entities stayed behind in this area, in the Philippines. And many of these spiritual entities became later on spiritual guides for the Filipino healers. And that's one of the reasons why in this area there are many spiritual healers who got this ability to heal and to help through their spiritual guides. And when we have people coming to the Philippines to learn this method, same, we train them to bring their consciousness from we help them open their third eye, we help them bring their consciousness, train them to bring their consciousness from the normal consciousness to the spiritual level of consciousness so they can get in contact with spiritual guides who can later on help them in doing spiritual work. And there are many energy places in the Philippines where you can feel the spiritual entities who could later on be your spiritual guides. And in the spiritual world, sometimes we can say, as I have said, when we talk about spiritual things, sometimes the normal way of thinking we have, the way we think, the way we understand things, even logic doesn't apply when we talk about spiritual things. Like time in the spiritual world and our world is different. And example of this is when I was young doing healing, my spiritual guide gave me the information. In a few days, you will be traveling to different countries to help people, to heal people, or to teach people to do spiritual healing. But it took, I think, 12 years before I'm able to travel to different countries to do this healing work. That's one thing different from our world and the spiritual world. Second is distance. Distance for spiritual entities and spiritual world, is different. When I travel from the Philippines to Frankfurt, for example, I have a feeling that my spiritual guides arrive in Frankfurt earlier than the airplane where I'm flying with. So these are things. So if you meet spiritual entities in the Philippines, when you become healers, they can always be anywhere. Anywhere you are to help you, to guide you, do your spiritual healing work. So, yes, we can continue with the questions.
Volevo chiederle se la formazione viene fatta solo nelle Filippine, oppure lei diceva che volete formare operatori anche in Europa, quindi mi chiedevo se aveste un programma anche in Europa di sviluppo specifico.
Yes, Fabio is doing the basic course in Italy.
And Stefano.
And Stefano. And Stefano, yeah. They are trained to give basic...
And Lothar.
And Lothar. Yeah, Lothar, sorry, Lothar, I forgot. And Lothar.
And Michaela.
And Michaela, yes, Michaela, sorry. Lothar, Michaela, Stefano, and Fabio, they came to the Philippines to train, and they can do the basic seminar on Philippine spiritual healing. They can give you the basic information and the feeling, yeah? They will train you to work with the Philippine spiritual way. This is one of the purpose is to give you the basic information about Philippine traditional spiritual healing, and for you to feel if it is something that you can work with, yeah, if it is something good for you. So this is really important before you come to the Philippines for the actual training. Yeah.
Grazie.
Quindi, come diceva Joseph prima, la loro visione è strutturata su 3 livelli, quindi corpo fisico, livello spirituale, livello animico. Quello che io, Stefano, Michaela, Lothar siamo in grado di trasmettere è l'informazione relativa al primo livello, che è quello del corpo fisico. Mentre per le successive attivazioni, queste si ricevono direttamente nelle Filippine, dove si ripete anche il primo livello, ma successivamente si ricevono anche l'apertura di terzo occhio, quindi una serie ulteriore di guarigioni anche per il livello spirituale e il livello animico. Quindi il percorso nelle Filippine è abbastanza intensivo, perché dura complessivamente 17 giorni di permanenza, dove ogni giorno uno riceve delle guarigioni spirituali dai guaritori e ogni 3 giorni c'è un transfert in una località energetica specifica e lì si riceve dopo 3 giorni l'apertura del terzo occhio.
When I do a seminar in the Philippines, yes, as Fabio has said, we do healing to the participants because we have to clear the spirit and the soul level of the healers to prepare them to work with spiritual energy and to get in contact with spiritual, to prepare the spirit and the soul to get in contact with spiritual entities. And also we do what we call opening of the third eye by psychic surgery. Opening the conscious normally on 3 levels, spirit, body, spirit, and the soul level by psychic surgery. So these are the programs we have in the Philippines. And before the actual initiation, which happens normally in a special place, a special cave, where many Filipino spiritual healers got in contact with their spiritual guides. This is where we make the initiation and to get in contact with the spirit, for the participants to get in contact with spiritual guides.
Poi, come dicevamo oggi, questo riguarda tutti i processi di guarigione spirituale, siccome ognuno di noi è fisiologicamente e normalmente dotato di spirito, chiunque può diventare un guaritore spirituale. Quindi non servono prerequisiti di nessun tipo, se non il sentire una forma di chiamata, per cui ad un certo punto diventa impellente per qualcuno avvicinarsi ad una modalità piuttosto che un'altra, perché questo è parte integrante del processo di ascolto a cui facevamo riferimento prima.
Avrei 2 domande. La prima è: un guaritore spirituale, se nel caso dovesse ammalarsi, riesce ad autoguarirsi o deve spesso ricorrere a un altro guaritore spirituale? Questa è la prima domanda. La seconda, con questo tipo di guarigione spirituale si riesce anche a togliere malattie dovute non tanto, sì, il corpo fisico si ammala, ma dovuto a, adesso scusate la parola, malefici. Fatturone, insomma, vedete voi, fatture, malefici.
Yes, for the first question, there are levels of illnesses that the healers can experience, wherein they can do the healing to themselves. But there are certain level of illnesses wherein we would need the help of other healers to heal us. And for the second question, yes, there could be illnesses caused by black magic or black energies. And yes, this also manifests on us as blockages, also on the spirit or the soul level. So these illnesses caused by black magic or black energy, they can manifest on us. So we are also able to clear these blockages and channel healing energy to the patient, so that we can possibly, if we can help or heal the patient.
Grazie.
Scusate, su questo faccio un ulteriore intervento di chiarificazione, nel senso che non riguarda specificatamente la tua domanda, ma vorrei darvi un'informazione più ampia. Il guaritore spirituale, secondo il metodo tradizionale filippino, opera principalmente sulla base delle informazioni che riceve mentre sta trattando la persona da parte delle guide spirituali. Quindi non c'è un processo volontario né da parte del guaritore spirituale e non ci può essere una richiesta razionale da parte di chi riceve, mentre ciò che accade è che proprio perché si è ricevuta l'apertura del terzo occhio, il guaritore riceve in quel momento una serie di informazioni relative alla persona che sta trattando, che possono riguardare il corpo fisico, il livello spirituale o il livello animico, e può andare ad operare e quindi a rimuovere i blocchi in base alle informazioni che riceve dalle proprie guide spirituali. Così forse vi è più chiaro il tipo di processo di guarigione. Question?
There are also, when it comes to illnesses, on the perspective, on the point of view of a spiritual healer, as a Filipino spiritual healer, there are only two things in our life which is beyond our control. The rest, I think we can do something about because we have already a lot of knowledge about our being. Yeah? First reason for illness which we have no control about is the natural reality that everybody gets old. Getting old, when we get old, the physical body also deteriorates. The functions of the organs deteriorates. This is something we cannot do about. Everybody gets old, so the physical body also manifests blockages because of this. The second thing that which is beyond our control is karma. We cannot do anything about karma when it comes into our life in this lifetime. Generally, especially heavy forms of karma, we cannot do anything about. But the rest, we can do a lot for our health.
La domanda che mi sono posta è proprio questa: perché non possiamo fare niente sul karma?
This is one of the things we cannot understand. This is how it is in the spiritual world. One of the things beyond our understanding and beyond our control. As I understand it. Yeah.
La mia domanda si riferisce soprattutto a questa riflessione. Dio opera attraverso il guaritore la guarigione. A questo punto mi rimane difficile comprendere la differenziazione che esiste tra guarire un'allergia, un tumore o un problema karmico.
Yes, again, there are things we cannot understand in our world. How things happen, yeah? How we heal things, how we are able to do something on the physical body, or how a spiritual healer can help people who have this form of illnesses. Sometimes in my healing experience, there are instances where I cannot help people who have normal illnesses, yeah? But I am able to help people who are seriously ill. So there are no real measure and limits on what and how spiritual healers can help their patients. This is how it is as we understand it. So it's not like there's nothing definite in spiritual healing. Yeah? Nothing sure, nothing definite, nothing, everything as we have to rely on how God wants it to be, or how the spirit world wants it to be.
E quindi, scusi, forse cambiare anche questa credenza.
The belief on
che non è possibile curare o guarire una persona che ha un problema karmico.
There,
karma.
Yeah. There are instances where we are able to help people who are ill with karmic reasons, but not all of them, as I have said. There are certain persons whom we are able to help, yeah, and some whom we are not able to help with these illnesses with karmic reasons. Yes. So it's not something general that we can help all kinds of people who are ill. We cannot help all of them completely, or we are not sure that we can help them, especially if their reason for this illness is karmic. Yeah. This is one of the, as I've said, difficult situation where a spiritual healer encounters when he have patients who have illness with karmic reasons, because we can feel the density or how heavy the blockages are, especially on the soul level.
Grazie.
Yeah, thank you.
Come prima ho cercato di spostare la vostra attenzione dal corpo fisico, ora provo a cercare di disincagliare questa nave. Per quella che è la mia esperienza, per l'osservazione, per come lavorano i guaritori spirituali, ripeto una frase che ho detto anche questa mattina: io credo che lo spirito porti sempre la miglior guarigione possibile che uno è pronto a ricevere in quel momento. Poi non è detto che tutto si possa sciogliere, questo è esattamente quello che sta dicendo Joseph. Ma proprio perché nel processo di guarigione spirituale filippino il guaritore riceve delle informazioni, opera solo con le informazioni che riceve dalle sue guide spirituali. Da un certo punto di vista non c'è nulla di impossibile, ma questo non significa che tutto sia possibile. Significa che è possibile quello che la persona è pronta a ricevere in quel momento, e questa sarà la cosa migliore per lui. E ci interessa meno se quel blocco è di questa vita, di quando avevo 5 anni, o di 7 vite fa, o di qualsiasi altro livello. È proprio un'angolazione differente nell'osservare un processo che in qualche modo non è guidato direttamente dalla razionalità. Question?
Buonasera. Io volevo fare una domanda, perché non è chiaro capire quando e che tipo di malattie può essere considerata di tipo karmico, di tipo fisico o altro, o spirituale. Nella fattispecie, una cefalea a grappolo o malattia del suicidio, a che livello può essere considerata?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Da un certo punto di vista, che importanza ha questa cosa?
Mi interessa a livello personale per una questione familiare.
E questo mi è chiaro, ma in qualche modo, ed è per questo che anticipo la risposta di Joseph, questa persona, se sceglierà di evolvere da quella condizione e si avvicinerà a dei processi di guarigione spirituale, riceverà la miglior guarigione possibile per lei in questo momento. Questo vorrei riuscire a trasmettervelo veramente indipendentemente dal disturbo, dalla malattia, dalla patologia, dal livello. È chiaro che loro, come Anne prima, utilizzano delle parole per trasmettervi dei contenuti che sono chiaramente molto più profondi, molto più personali, molto più intimi e rispetto ai quali a volte non ci sono parole. Ma non focalizzate la vostra mente e la vostra attenzione lì, se no non ha senso questo congresso in qualche modo. Il livello di comunicazione da qui è sul vostro stato di coscienza, non sulle vostre domande razionali. Poi liberi di fare tutte le domande che volete per carità, per attivare dei processi di guarigione, ma non filtrateli in maniera così chirurgica rispetto a dei processi personali. La finalità di questo congresso, dal mio punto di vista in quanto organizzatore, è molto più ampia di così. Poi ora lascio la risposta a lui, ovviamente.
Yes, when I say illnesses that are normal, these are normal illnesses, probably normal illnesses we have based on the natural, like illnesses caused by getting old, the deterioration of the functions of the organs. People who have normal illnesses like high blood pressure, people who have diabetes, people who have normal illnesses, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. This often manifests on the physical level. The manifestation of the blockages happen on the physical level. When we have people who are suicidal, people who have clinical depressions, people who have experienced anxiety, fear, unexplained anger. These are more deeper emotional problems and some mental problems. The manifestation of blockages happen on the spiritual level already. And for the more serious illnesses, I said the different serious illnesses like cancer, serious neurological disorders, the different syndromes, unusual illnesses, serious emotional problems or serious mental problems, people who have serious mental problems, people who are handicapped, physically, mentally handicapped, or people who have physical or mental or emotional disorders. Many of these kind of illnesses can manifest on the soul level. So we only feel the manifestation of the blockages when we have already the patient in front of us. We can feel where and which level the blockages are. But before we feel, even if they say what they have, what illnesses they have, we cannot identify exactly where the blockages are until we concentrate and try to feel where actually the blockages are in preparation for clearing the blockages.
Ma soprattutto, da una parte fate tesoro di queste straordinarie testimonianze da parte di Anne+Tanja prima, da parte di Joseph e John adesso, ma questo in alcun modo deve assomigliare ad una diagnosi. Ma proprio in alcun modo, perché se voi uscite da qui con l'idea che siccome quel disturbo è legato ad un problema karmico, allora è incurabile o inguaribile, allora lo sarà, ed è esattamente come se un medico vi dicesse il tuo tumore non può regredire, e questo è esattamente quello che non deve accadere. Una persona, finché è incarnata, ha tutte le potenzialità per invertire qualunque processo nel proprio corpo fisico, se lo vuole, se ritiene di farsi aiutare, se riesce a trovare gli strumenti per attivare il proprio processo di autoguarigione. Ma non confondete questo con una diagnosi, perché se no ritorniamo esattamente non nell'assumerci la responsabilità della nostra salute e del nostro benessere su tutti i livelli, ma nell'affidare a qualcuno fuori da noi la responsabilità piena del nostro stato di salute. E questo è esattamente ciò che non dovrebbe accadere, o almeno che non intendiamo veicolare con questo congresso. Grazie. Question.
Può succedere che uno che desideri diventare guaritore spirituale alla fine abbia difficoltà a aprire il terzo occhio?
Each and every one of us have a third eye. And each and every one of us have a different levels of level where our third eye is open. So we have different abilities which sometimes is strange for us. Like, for example, sometimes we feel somebody, when you are alone in a room and you feel somebody in a room with you, it's like you are sensitive to spiritual entities or spiritual energy. It could be that a spiritual energy, or you can feel your spiritual guide. This means that your third eye is open in a certain level. And sometimes we have experienced instances where you felt or you're sure you saw somebody pass by, but you did not see it with your physical eyes. And this is one example of the third eye seeing or an energy, a spiritual energy or a spiritual entity that passed by. And these are examples of the third eye being open. And this is something we can develop or train to open the third eye, to bring the consciousness into the spiritual level. It is not easy, since we have to understand that from birth we are always in a we are always in our normal level of consciousness. When I say we have to train the healers, the participants, to bring their consciousness into the spiritual level of consciousness, it takes a lot of training, patience, to open this third eye. But it is something, as we have proven again and again, it is something possible. As long as you have patience, you have time to do, and you have follow all the possible information needed to open your third eye or your spiritual consciousness, then I feel that everyone can do this.
E voi su questo date un grosso contributo.
He said, thank you already.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. Ci sono altre domande? Sì.
Buonasera. La mia domanda è sugli strumenti che usa il guaritore spirituale. Joseph ha parlato di preghiera e di meditazione e mi interessava sapere un po' di più sulla meditazione, se ci poteva dire qualcosa, che tipo, se non so, è qualcosa che viene data dalle guide o c'è proprio una specifica meditazione, se potevi dire qualcosa di più. Grazie.
Meditation is an important part of the life of a healer. Like any healer, we meditate and pray before we start our work and after we start our work. We do a kind of meditation which will prepare us for the work ahead, the task ahead. If we have to work for the day, we have to always prepare ourselves for the healing work. So meditation helps us to prepare for the healing work. As a healer, there are 3 important steps to achieve in our way of meditation. First, the step would be the clearing. We have to be prepared to channel energy, so we have to clear blockages from the crown chakra down to the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the navel, solar plexus chakra, navel chakra, base chakra. All these chakras should be clear so that we will be able to channel healing energy better. And after clearing all the chakras, we have to ground these blockages. That is the second stage of this meditation we do as a daily routine. We have to ground these blockages. And the third part of the meditation would be to visualize a protection around us, because during the healing work, during the day, we are subject to different forms of energies, like negative energies, energies in the place where we work, or energies from other people, or energies from the environment. So these are things that we should do regularly. It is important to prepare for us to do meditation and praying. And we do this every day. Even if we don't have a work schedule for the day, we always do this. And it's the same for my other colleagues, my other fellow healers in the Philippines. They do it as a daily routine. And sometimes when we need to remove tension and relax, we do also this meditation, this form of meditation where we can bring our consciousness into inner peace or inner silence. This is one way of giving energy for us, to give energy for our spirit and our soul, to prepare us to do our healing work. So these are 2 main forms of meditation we have to do.
Ci sono altre domande?
Vorrei chiedere questo: le visualizzazioni che si fanno, per esempio, quando durante il processo di guarigione, sono sempre interiori, ossia nel terzo occhio, o talvolta sono anche esterne? Cioè, voglio dire, le visualizzate all'interno del terzo occhio, immagino, soprattutto. Capita anche di vederle con gli occhi apparentemente fisici all'esterno? Cioè, come
sei stata chiarissima.
Yes, visualization is done on an altered state, normally what we call in an altered state of consciousness. If you visualize in your normal consciousness, you are just imagining things. Yeah? You have to bring your consciousness into an altered state of consciousness, or what we call in our lectures about alpha level before you do your visualization, because this is a level where you are close to the spiritual level or spiritual frequency. This is where you start to visualize things. You are already in the frequency, spiritual frequency. Otherwise, if you just visualize using your normal state of consciousness, we say this is more imagining things or visualizing things in the normal consciousness. So this is what we teach, how to bring the consciousness into an altered state of consciousness. This is one of the main problems when we teach people to do spiritual healing. They do their visualization on the normal level of consciousness, which is, it doesn't work this way when you work with spiritual energy. When you visualize on the normal consciousness, you just imagine things. Yeah? So we've trained them to bring their consciousness on the altered state of consciousness, close to the spiritual level, before they visualize, to start to visualize things. Because at this level, you receive already messages from the spiritual world or from your spiritual guide when you are able to bring your consciousness into the altered state of consciousness.
Quindi l'aria diventa più densa, per esempio, cose del genere. Cioè.
Uno stato non ordinario, ribadisco, nella traduzione.
Grazie.
Ma la risposta alla tua domanda è sì.
Sì, no,
nel senso che ci sono volte dove le informazioni sono solo verbali, ci sono le volte dove sono visive e sono all'interno della mente, come dici tu, ci sono delle volte dove invece sono direttamente in qualche modo sul corpo della persona che sta ricevendo la guarigione.
Cosa intendi per preghiera? Hai detto la meditazione e la preghiera, ma cosa intendi per preghiera?
Yes, praying for me is giving messages, sending messages to God. If you are Catholic or Christian, if you are Islam, to Allah, and if you are Buddhist, to Buddha. This is a form of communication with God. Yeah.
Yes.
My brother Jojo will.
I think praying also is you must pray for others before praying yourself. And be sure that you are praying to God, because for us healers, Jesus is our personal Savior, and we are following His footsteps. I think all of us. Thank you.
Vi sono altre domande? Chiedo. Sì? Aspetta che ti arriva un microfono.
Grazie. C'è una parte di noi che non si ammala, non muore e non si rattrista. Questa è la mia convinzione. Si chiama anima o spirito. Perché quando si pensa, io penso all'anima, ma quando viene detto che c'è un blocco dell'anima, non riesco a capire se è l'anima o lo spirito che non si ammala, non muore e non si rattrista.
As I have said, as I understand it, we have two bodies which are immortal, the spirit and the soul. And as we understand and as we feel it, the spirit is where our intellect comes from, our intellect. So this is probably in the spiritual world a part of us which we cannot say it doesn't get sick, but this is part of us that do not feel sad, or because we said that the soul, it is in the soul where we feel our emotions, the soul level. So many of the emotional problems, serious emotional problems also can manifest on the soul level. Blockages manifest on the soul level. When we speak about these two bodies, there are a lot of things. As a healer, there are still a lot of mysteries which I do not know exactly, because during the healing, the information we get are more on the blockages, where the blockages are, where it manifests, if it is in the spirit or the soul level. But in my healing experience, this is how I feel it, about the spirit and the soul. The spirit is where the intelligence comes from, the knowledge, and it's more in the soul where we feel the emotions.
Direi che se abbiamo esaurito le domande, da un certo punto di vista sottolineerei la pulizia intellettuale di Joseph, nel senso che non deve dare delle risposte per forza, in qualche modo lo avete sentito, risponde secondo la sua esperienza, secondo il suo sentire, in maniera assolutamente trasparente. Questo trovo che sia sempre apprezzabile in un confronto che prevede comunque l'utilizzo di parole. Quindi da una parte vi inviterei a ringraziarlo con un applauso. Dall'altra lui ha in serbo ancora una piccola sorpresa per noi, per cui la serata non si conclude così, ma lascio che sia lui a raccontarvi nello specifico quale dono ha pensato di dedicarvi.
Yes, since we are now in a group, I would like to share with you a form of healing we do for a group. Yeah. Normally in a group we do what we call a meditation healing. We meditate together, we clear the blockages, and we said that all this visualization are effective when we are able to bring our consciousness into an altered state of consciousness. So we try to bring our thoughts, we try, when we do this meditation healing, out all of our thoughts out of our mind and try to clear our mind, and we ask the people to bring their consciousness into a level where they can feel inner peace and inner silence. This is a state of mind, what we call the altered state of mind, already. And this is how we do the group meditation. And this is also the same when but this time we will not do group meditation healing. We will do instead a prayer healing. But again, The same in prayer healing, we have to clear our mind from other thoughts and concentrate and give our attention to what I will be telling you during the prayer healing. So today, since I think most of you are, I suppose most of you are Catholic, because Italy is the seat of Catholicism, and in the Philippines, over 80% of the population are Catholic, so normally we do prayer healings, or some instead of meditation group healings. And this prayer healing, we will ask the intercession of the Mother Mary, because we realize that a lot of healing happened through her intercession or through her intervention. And through, especially through the healing of the Holy Spirit. So a lot of healings happen through the intercession of Mother Mary, not only in the Philippines. I think you've heard in Lourdes, France, many healings happen there through the apparitions in Fatima in Portugal, Medjugorje in Yugoslavia. And in the Philippines, we have a special church there, which is the Marian Center for Pilgrims, Catholic pilgrims. We have a church there called Manawag. This is a church where we have a special grotto for Mother Mary, where many healings, miraculous healings have happened. We can play the... Yes. We are going to play a religious song, and probably we can play it during... So first you can have a look at this song and hear this song, and later on, while we're playing the song in a soft music, I will be saying the prayer. A little bit loud. A little higher.
Holy Spirit, I pray. Come with your strength and your power. Come with your own special
Translating this
Come to the weary of song. Lord, let your sweet healing power touch me and make me
She wants to play it. Once more. Yeah, once more, and she will translate. And then she will They can hear the translation. Okay, that's okay. So now I ask you to close your eyes. Let's close our eyes. Let's just take out all the thoughts from our mind. Slowly, we bring our consciousness into a deeper silence and inner peace. Let us feel the divine love in our hearts. Let us open our hearts for the Holy Spirit. Let us feel God's love into our hearts, deep into our hearts. Sincerely, let us surrender ourselves to the Lord for His healing and for His blessings. My dear friends, you who are sick, you who are in pain, I'm inviting you to put your hand to the part of your body that is in pain. If your heart aches, put your hand in your breast. If your stomach aches, put your hand in your stomach. You who are now in deep pain and seriously ill, I want you to imagine and visualize now that your hand, which is now in your body, which is in pain, is not anymore your hand, but the hand of Jesus. Jesus' healing hands. A hand that is giving life. You who have serious illness today, like cancer and other serious illnesses, and our brothers and sisters who don't have physical problems but have deep emotional pains, you who is misguided, you who are confused, you who have no direction in life, you who are seeking your way in your life, you who is tired of your life, and you who have turned in the wrong way in life. The Lord loves you. Feel the love of God in your heart. Feel His healing hands to all the parts of your body that is in pain, like the bones, your bones because of arthritis, osteoporosis, tendonitis. Let the Lord touch you. your depressions, oppressions, financial problems, relationship problems, and all your illnesses, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. The Lord is touching you now. The Lord is healing you right now. Like the heavy burden we carry in our heart and the illnesses in our internal organs, the Lord is healing your heart. The Lord is healing your liver, your lungs, your pancreas, your big and small intestines, your kidneys, your prostate, your ovary, your spleen. The Lord is healing you. Our old sickness and pain, the pain we are feeling for a long time now, the Lord is healing you. All you need is to trust in the Lord with all your heart, with sincerity, and with openness. My brothers and sisters, the Lord did not abandon you. He did not turn His back on you. But now receive His love. Receive His healing. You who have ill feelings and anger towards your parents, you who are a member of a broken family, maybe by this time you are accusing God to what happened in your life. The solution is not going into drugs or alcohol or not immorality or not doing the wrong things, but accepting the Lord in your hearts. This is the solution. Just visualize in the back of your mind, the Lord is touching you from your head down to your toe. Allow the Lord to heal you completely and totally. Every one of you have been touched. Every one of you have been blessed. And you have been healed by the Lord. God bless you all, and the Lord loves you.